at the Munich Security Conference, it set the tone for a growing rift between the United States and Europe. Today, we may see how or if things have changed. The conference is beginning this Friday with a speech by German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. He's one of 15 heads of state or government from the European Union countries whom organizers expect to attend. Also in attendance will be a group of U.S. Democrats who have been urging European leaders to stand up to Trump. Joining me on the set is Rochelle Ferguson Bouyahi from our international desk. Hello to you, Rochelle. What can we expect to be at the forefront of this year's Munich Security Conference?
Well, you touched on it there, the incredibly strained relationship between the United States and Europe. A year has done little to make that relationship flow better. The transatlantic partnership is going to be at the centre of what goes on in Munich. Divisions then that are clearly outlined in the Munich Security Report published just this week. It raises a number of questions about the United States and indeed the way in which they are conducting themselves currently. The report is entitled Under Destruction, which is pretty telling, you might say. It's critical of Donald Trump. It talks about Donald Trump axing existing rules and institutions, using bulldozer or wrecking ball politics, which it says ultimately isn't conducive to a prosperous democratic way forward. The report also, interestingly, talks about Donald Trump being a prominent representative of what it says is a broader phenomena of global contemporary politics. It cites Argentina's president, Javier Milei. You'll remember Milei kind of brandishing this chainsaw as part of his, campaign props. Elon Musk as well, and the kind of disruption that was sowed at the Department of Governmental Efficiency. So just, looking at the ways in which existing institutions are being, shaken up and, certain rules are being axed. The report says that, looking at the world as a transactional deal rather than one which is principled, which is, a deal of cooperation is problematic. So we're looking at private interests as opposed to public interests, and looking at regions as though regional hegemons should be, powering forward with them, rather than looking at the world as a place of universal norms. Just a final point on this, Will. This report, this Munich Security Report, which you might say provides the framework of what's going on in Munich today, urges Europe to stand up to the United States, to take on board some of the techniques of the Trump's administration and be more daring in the way in which that it communicates its decisions and the way it drives forward in the years to come.
Yeah, and on day two, we'll hear from a Trump official, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, to speak there in Munich. He's leading a large delegation to this conference. Should Europeans be wary of what he'll be saying on Saturday, or has the climate shifted?
Look, just a year ago, we've made reference to it. J.D. Vance shocking European leaders. They were bamboozled by a number of criticisms that were levelled at them by J.D. Vance. Let's just remind our viewers, he accused the European Union of censoring, suppressing free speech, of opening the floodgates when it comes to immigration, of having policies which are ultimately too left-leaning, which don't require European investment. And also, he spoke about Europeans not taking enough responsibility when it comes to their own defence. The United States echoing this idea that actually they don't want Europe under their wing as in years gone by. J.D. Vance was a lecture. Many people called it that, a moralistic lecture. The hope is this time that Marco Rubio, that we can see just behind me, will be more conciliatory in his tone. He spoke ahead of this conference. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
The world is changing very fast right in front of us. The old world is gone, frankly, the world I grew up in, and we live in a new era in geopolitics, and it's going to require all of us to sort of re-examine what that looks like and what our role is going to be. And we've had many of these conversations in private with many of our allies, and they are our allies, and we need to continue to have those conversations.
So Marco Rubio then thought of, whether you're a fan or you're not a fan, he's thought of being slightly more diplomatic than J.D. Vance, certainly when he makes speeches. Will he have a conciliatory tone? I think European leaders will be hoping so, because given the current context of, this tensions, whether it's about Greenland, whether it's about other geopolitical issues, there needs some calming down to be done between the United States and Europe. It's worth noting that Rubio will stop in both Slovakia and Hungary once he leaves Munich for discussions there that his team says will focus on regional and global concerns. The philosophy, though, the ultimate philosophy of Rubio's speech is thought to be similar to J.D. Vance. Let's see what he has to say when he takes to the stage at the Munich Security Conference.
A lot of people